Okay, let's just do a quick overview of the rest of the Plural Executive. I'll share this screen with you. We'll start off with Lieutenant Governor, who's also elected statewide, gets paid $7,200 a year, is the ex officio chair of the Legislative Budget Board, which writes the budget, appoints all the members of the committees in the Texas Senate, takes over if the governor dies or resigns or is removed from office, or if the governor leaves the state. Considered by many to be the most powerful person constitutionally in the state of Texas, but not a lot of people know who the Lieutenant Governor is. It is, of course, Dan Patrick. Next up is the Attorney General. The Attorney General is the state's attorney, interprets the Constitution through what they call opinions. It represents the state in civil and criminal litigation, but it's important to note that the Attorney General's office is primarily one of civil matters. It deals with deadbeat dads, child support payments, and things of that nature. The Attorney General is often run on the tough on crime idea, but they really don't have anything to do with crime. That's usually down at the DA level, at the county and the city level. But you really just can't run on Attorney General saying I'll sue somebody. Right now, the Attorney General is Ken Paxton. Maybe some of you know him. He's been under indictment for some time. He's got a lot of challengers in the Republican primary, interestingly enough. See how he pulls that out. He may pull that out still. Next up is the Comptroller of Public Accounts. It's actually pronounced Controller, C-O-N-T-R-O-L-L-E-R. Why don't we just change the spelling? I've been to the Comptroller of Public Accounts office, and every time I said Comptroller, the person would say Controller. So I kept saying Comptroller, just so they would say it over and over again. This is a very important job. It manages the financial activities of state government. They have to, since we do budgeting for every 2 years, the legislature only meets once every 2 years, no budget can go into operation until the controller or comptroller signs off on it, saying that there is enough money based on the controller's estimate of revenue for the next 2 years to pay for that budget. And you think about that. You're the comptroller, right? And you're estimating a budget, and then COVID hits, and that's certainly going to affect your budget. So budget estimates tend to be fairly conservative. So that's one of the primary jobs of the comptroller, is to make sure there is enough money for any proposed budget to pay for it the next 2 years. We have two here, the Commissioner of the General Land Office. When Texas became a state, it kept all its lands, its public lands, unlike many other states. And what it's done with those lands is it leases those lands out. And the revenue from that land leasing that they get goes into the public university system. That's George P. Bush right now as the land commissioner, who is running now for Attorney General against Ken Paxton. Interesting. Then there's the Commissioner of Agriculture. That's, I just want to say Sid Miller. I think that's his name off the top of my head. He's an interesting guy. I just challenge you to look him up. But they administer both consumer protection and labor protection laws. If you ever want to know his name, all you have to do is look on a gas pump, and it'll say this gas pump has been certified by the Commissioner of Agriculture, because they're in charge of weights and measures. Because think about it, when you get a gallon of gas, how do you know you have a gallon of gas? You certainly don't want to light a match and look down in there. That would be disastrous. Don't do that. So they go around and check, make sure that the pumps and the scales in the grocery stores are accurate and that you're being charged what you should be charged. And of course, they promote Texas agricultural products around the world. Now over here, we have some appointed executives. The Secretary of State, the one I really want you to know, is that they're in charge of enforcing the state election laws. That's their primary job, to make sure the election laws are followed, that campaign laws, finance laws are followed, and if you ever run for office, you file reports with those people. The other board I want you to know is the Texas Railroad Commission. Now, this is a board that is elected. It's a 3-member board that serves a 6-year term that's staggered, so you elect one every 2 years. And you would think that their primary job is regulating railroads. You'd be wrong. It's oil and gas production is what they primarily regulate. They have they used to do railroads, but since railroads now cross interstate lines, it's the federal government that does that. I'm not sure why we don't rename it the Oil and Gas Commission, but we haven't. So that's important to know. State Board of Education, real briefly, 14-member board with a commissioner appointed by the governor. The board sets educational policy of the state, helps narrow down the textbooks. This has become a very political board, much like everything else we see today, as partisans on right and left try to gain control of it. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing right there. That's a brief outline. I have a deeper outline on the webpage already. So make sure you take a look at that. So test coming up, starting on the 30th. Get ready to start taking that test. Same format, same time frame. Nothing changes. I'm going to start writing here in a moment on my birthday. Why am I here on my birthday? Anyway, I am going to start writing test 4 as we speak. So watch these videos, do your study guide, and good luck on the test starting on January 30th.